alternate leadership strategy in Yangoru-Saussia. PANGU to push for Western Regional. And Marape says PNC to announce plans after nominations close.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Sunday's news. Contesting not to unseat but bring alternate leadership to the Yangoru-Saussia district will be the campaign strategy of intending candidate Max Kamba. Mr. Kamba, who is known throughout the Sepik region as a successful businessman, will contest the Yangoru-Saussia seat, running against Minister for Trade, Commerce and Industry Richard Maru, who is also his mentor. While many may see this as a mammoth task, Kamba believes he has the qualities to be a good leader.
Mr. Kamba will run under New Generation Party. Last night he announced his intentions and says they are prepared to take the challenge against sitting MP Richard Maru. While they did not announce any of their party policies for their campaign, they say their main objective is to get into government. Former Finance Secretary Dr. Thaddeus Kambane, who is the party president, says they will go to the elections with the aim of ousting the PNC-led government. He touched on the importance of building the country's economy, something they will use as a campaign strategy.
Our strategy is about winning the elections, and it's making sure that we master the numbers, we ensure that we have the numbers, and particularly the ones in our community, our base vote, making sure we master those numbers. And we want Yangoru-Saussia people to support Max Kamba for a change of government.
Meanwhile, intending candidate Max Kamba says he is contesting because he wants to provide alternate leadership for Yangoru-Saussia. Kamba is known for a successful fuel distribution business in East and West Sepik.
Uniting Yangoru-Saussia. And first time lo put hand, me no run election, me no recycle lita, me been run finish, na me lose or me been serving all people.
The New Generation Party will be in East Sepik next week to endorse Mr. Kamba. The total number of candidates contesting the Yangoru-Saussia seat will be known after nominations close next Thursday. Stanley Ove Jr., National EMTV News.
Lace Metropolitan Police Commander says 44 new police personnel from the Bomana Police College will greatly boost police manpower in the city. Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr. says the new batch of police personnel will help the command combat crime and boost manpower during the election period. Martha Louise with this report.
The 44 new trainees posted to Marape from the Bomana Police College will assist the Lae Metropolitan Command and the Marape Police Command. 13 are women. 29 trainees are under the Lae Metropolitan Command and the other 15 are posted under the Provincial Police Command. In a short meeting with the new trainees, Wagambi warned them to follow orders and abide by rules or face disciplinary actions.
You will be dealt with. Okay.
Wagambi says the RPNGC has been getting a lot of criticism from the public over the disorderly behavior by officers. Wagambi says the Lae Metropolitan Command is trying to change that image and officers who are caught misbehaving will be disciplined. The new officers will assist at least 300 policemen and women in Lae and the reservists.
There will be 200 plus reservists for Lae Metropolitan.
Matalubis, National EMTV News, Lae.
Hela Province will have 480 polling venues during the 2017 national election. Provincial Police Commander Michael Welly says 3 police personnel will be assigned to each polling venue. The command will receive manpower support from the PNG Defence Force and the Correctional Services.
Front! Red will take Obenona! Obenona!
Much of the focus will be given to Kagua-Erawe district in the Southern Highlands province.
The 2 electorates that we are looking at as most volatile will be Nipakutubu and Kagua-Erawe.
Over 207 police personnel will be deployed to the different polling venues to provide security.
We are hoping that the Electoral Commission would agree to having 2 days polling in the province. In that case, we are looking at deploying 3 personnel to a polling booth. So that will cover at least all the 480 polling places that we have in the province.
The command will also receive additional manpower from other provincial commands.
Southern Islands will be sending in about 300 teams as part of the contingent to assist me. Hela will be, because they have South Pole in the manpower in their command, they will be sending only about 60 men, and I have about 300 men. So that's about 660 personnel who will be actively involved in the polling places.
During the issuing of writs in Port Moresby, Electoral Commissioner Patales Gamato said he was pleased with how the election security operations will be carried out in the Highlands region.
I'm satisfied as far as security is concerned, as long as they give us a guarantee that there will be a special unit providing security, a response unit, as soon as possible. So using the intel, if there is incidents that is going to happen, they must deal with that quickly.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Leader of Government Business and sitting Taripori MP James Marape says the People's National Congress Party is ready for the 2017 elections. Marape says PNC will officially announce its plans after nominations close. He made this statement when launching Taripori's official magazine, the Hulu Kumaya, today in Port Moresby.
Prior to the launch, the PNC stronghold told a packed crowd at the administration college that PNC is ready for the 2017 national elections. Marape said consistency in leadership is vital and PNC is ready to provide that leadership.
Government is ready to continue. Prime Minister O'Neill is ready to continue. You see the result of continuity of government. Not about the sex my Prime Minister. Plenty time, countries are background time, Oman raises for Prime Minister Thomas.
Marape said the People's National Congress has proven its leadership despite the countless vote of no confidence in the last term of parliament. He says PNC has redefined its major policies and will be announced in the party convention next week.
This week, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the PNC party will officially showing who's that candidate Lomibla right across the country, and by announcing some policy from where people come in the last 5 years. Now, how side will go into the next 5 years and into the future?
Sitting Moresby Northwest MP Michael Malabak officially launched the Taripori District magazine in front of hundreds.
People from Taripori, your magazine called Hulu Kumaya. Thank you.
The magazine is an overview of developments in the Taripori District. Meanwhile, the sitting Taripori MP will fly to Tari tomorrow to nominate and defend his seat. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
The Western Province nomination is set to begin next week, with PANGU candidate George Boame optimistic for a win to develop the province. Boame is among several candidates who will be contesting the Western Regional seat. Boame spoke to EMTV News about his policies.
Among several candidates who will be contesting the Western Province Regional seat is PANGU party man George Boame. Speaking to EMTV News, George said he is confident to bring tangible developments to the province.
I would like to come back with what I have acquired and impart that into a province so that people basically will see what is required. A rich province, yet poor, is a challenge that I am now taking up upon. Many people today think that province is going good, but in actual fact, Western Province has a lot of problems and issues, and we need leaders by today.
He alleged that Western Province has been influenced by foreigners, with huge amount of people's resources and wealth have been unaccounted and misused. Having vast experiences working with government and stakeholders in the province, he had identified these issues to be addressed.
These leaders we need, it must come from the choices of people. The leaders that have seen what had happened in the past for the last 25 years in Western Province. Our resources have been controlled outside because we don't have a good leadership in the province. Leaders today think that they will people will give them the mandate, and when they get out of the province, they go back and start utilizing this resource in a manner which does not benefit the community.
George holds a master's degree in development management and development studies with postgraduate diploma in public policy management from the University of Papua New Guinea. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
Here at Sunday's News, police officers learn about international standards of law enforcement. Stay with us. Welcome back. 13 police personnel in the Highlands region have completed a workshop on international norms and principles to law enforcement. The two-day workshop highlighted proper police conduct to uphold human rights when dealing with the public. A variety of topics were covered for police officers to know how useful and appropriate they could apply their constitutional powers. The workshop was facilitated by the International Committee of the Red Cross. The workshop is the third conducted in Mount Hagen.
Right, focusing on policing, on international norms and standards, that is talking about their responsibilities and also the power that they have and how they should use those powers, and at the same time fulfill their responsibilities and protect and respect human rights.
It was always emphasized that there is a lack of knowledge on international standards, and they would welcome training for the policemen.
So it's just a suggestion that I would like to put forward.
Thank you.
That if you can come to our provinces in future and conduct such training like this so that it can cover most of our police personnel.
Papua New Guineans can now access Supreme and National Court listings online. This follows the launching of the PNG judicial website by Chief Justice Sir Selamo Injia on Friday. Tekla Gunga with this story.
With just a click of the mouse, Papua New Guineans can look up court listings for both the national and Supreme Courts. It is the first concrete effort by Court Registry Services to provide information to court users and help their legal representatives prepare cases prior to the hearings. The website www.pngjudiciary.com.pg contains cases that are progressively listed before judges for both courts for hearings. It contains necessary information on the name of the case reference, the parties involved, and even names of lawyers representing the court parties. The time and date and venues are also listed. The information can be viewed, downloaded, or printed using computers or smartphones. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The Papua New Guinea Forest Authority and its partners are working towards implementing downstream processing in the forestry sector. The stakeholders are working together to ensure that Papua New Guinea has the proper wood production practices and a wood database system. Bethany Herman with this report.
Forestry stakeholders are working closely with the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research to make timber downstream processing a reality in Papua New Guinea. A project to add value to timber has been completed and results were presented in a workshop recently in Port Moresby. The Papua New Guinea Forest Authority says the work has been done to ensure that government policies for downstream processing is achieved.
Government needs money to, provide goods and services, to support the goods and services of the country. Yeah. So that's why, it is giving emphasis to export logs to collect revenue through tax. Yeah. But processing is the way forward for the long term, because it will enable the government, enable the country to manage the forest sustainably. Yeah.
The Forestry Research Institute has also developed a database system to record wood properties. The creator of the database system says it's to ensure that there are details about wood properties when there is a buyer or students needing research.
So if anyone wants to sell wood, use wood, we'll refer to the properties there in the database with all the species. Mind you, there are about more than 100 species of commercial timbers in Papua New Guinea, and they are captured in this database. So with a press of a button, you get your name of the species with all the properties, where you can find the tree, locations, and the recommended uses for this.
The country's midterm development plan is to create jobs in the sustainable sector. Forestry is one of them. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News.
The autonomous Bougainville government has entered into a partnership with South Korea to look into the many available business opportunities which are potential for investment. Several memorandums of understanding were signed to begin this journey for the island's government to create an economic hub to sustain its financial capacity. MTV's Buka-based Fabian Hakalits brings us this story.
A government delegation led by the autonomous Bougainville government's Vice President Raymond Masono and sitting member for North Bougainville, Lauta Toy, returned home satisfied after striking deals with South Korea for the exploration of business opportunities and cultural exchange of education. The Korean Talent Development Corporation invited them.
Opportunities for businesses in agriculture, tourism, mining, shipping, transportation, all those areas that have potential for investment.
A specific secretariat will be formed to implement all this. Memorandum of understanding. Among them is also the contract with a shipbuilding company for the design of the new vessel to service the Atoll Islands.
We have a blueprint based on our specification. A draft was submitted to us before our departure. We went through the draft and we gave it back to them. Very soon we will be receiving the most up-to-date blueprint, as they call it in Korea.
Bougainville must develop its own commercially and viable shipping industry, and with Korea's partnership, this will improve transportation and production of economic activities to sustain the income per capita for Atoll Islanders as well.
When the mining opens in the future, we want ships belonging to Bougainville to take the copper, whatever gold, all our copper, all our cocoa, direct to the international markets. We don't want ships belonging to foreigners to come and do that for us. We believe that we can do it.
Next month, a delegation from Korea will be visiting the autonomous region of Bougainville. In Boca, Fabian Hakalits, National MTV News.
PNG Power has released a statement explaining that they've met with the workers' union to address their grievances. They say all other matters, including salary increases, will be addressed through the Human Resource Business Unit. Union leaders say it was a coincidence that the suspension of the two members of the executive management happened on the day of their scheduled meeting. More details of the issue can be found on MTV's website or Facebook page MTV Online. You're with National MTV News. Youth in Oktedi to benefit from foundation programs, and PNG artist Nare stuns crowds in Port Moresby. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Youth from the 150 affected villages situated along Oktedi Mining's Community Mining Continuous Agreement regions, or mine villages, will benefit from Oktedi Development Foundation's youth programs. These programs include a rice project, eaglewood farming, rubber and education food centers. The CMCA and Mine Village Youth 5-Year Development Action Plan was launched on Friday in Kiunga, Western Province. Eric Harupma with this report.
Oktedi Development Foundation Program Manager Sustainable Service Eric Coman, speaking during the launch of the Oktedi's CMCA and Mine Village 5-Year Youth Development Action Plan, said these programs will sustain livelihood of the youth financially and provide education for them.
The important thing about OTDF in the last,
the youths also
in the next 5 years, our strategic direction is to basically roll out this livelihood, and our team is to make sure that we make sure every household is financially self-sustainable.
National Youth Development Authority Deputy Director General Operation Kim Dama said the establishment of the National Youth Development as decentralized functions right down to provincial, district and ward levels, and this is an example of NYDA's partnership with resource developers.
So it is more or less like now youth will try to address issues concerning themselves, whereas in the past this was never done. They expect government officials at different levels, National Youth Commission or National Youth Development Authority, but that was not done because of the funding problem.
Hundreds of youths gathered to witness the CMC and Mine Village 5 Years Youth Action Plan launching at Matkomai Village in Kiunga last Friday. The 5-year Youth Action Plan was developed by the OCTDF in consultation with the National Youth Development Authority and youth representatives from the CMC regions. OCTDF Community Development Officer Bara Karapa said the youth program was initiated in 2006 to empower youth by taking lead in bringing tangible development to their community.
The youths were also involved in this development of the plan. They had representatives from the 3 trust main regions, North Fly, Middle Fly and South Fly, which they represented the respective trusts in these 3 regions.
The 5-year Youth Development Action Plan also aligned with the National Youth Policy 2007 to 2017, Provincial Youth Plan and District Youth Action Plan.
I think our program has been carried out. I think our action has been planned, so we are looking forward for next 5 years.
Eric Arupma, National MTV News.
15 people graduated under the Southern Cross University degree courses offered under the Institute of Business Studies University's Ariama campus outside Port Moresby last Friday. This is the first graduation for the Southern Cross University to be hosted in Port Moresby. The SCU Business and Information Technology Bachelor Degree courses, collaboration with the IBSU, provides students to attain an international degree on a local level. Present at the graduation were Chancellor for Southern Cross University Nick Burton Taylor and Vice Chancellor Adam Schumacher, Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davis and the IBSU School Management. Meanwhile, last Wednesday the university had its first graduation for the Enga campus with 45 pioneer graduates. Meanwhile, with Carteret's Island declared as some of the first climate change refugees in the world, the sitting member for North Bougainville has also announced the Korean government is keen to support the autonomous Bougainville government on its green climate change. Following their successful meeting this week in Korea, Mr. Toy has called on leaders to continue advocating on climate change.
So we are looking at converting the power generating energy, converting them to solar and wind turbine, as well as the hydropower energy. So these are things that we look very closely.
Small to medium business owners can now apply for loans instantly through FinCorp's new mobile application. FinCorp says it will ensure faster and efficient loan application for business owners throughout the country. Customers can apply by downloading the application onto their smartphones. FinCorp Managing Director Tony Witham says this falls in with the government's support for SMEs in the country. Witham said this application is the first pre-approved business loan application available throughout the country.
The advantage of this is it doesn't cost anything. It's a free application. There's not a lot of times you get anything for free. Well, this is a free application. There's no queues, there's no waiting. You apply online and the loan, if it meets our criteria, it's approved. If not, one of our SME loan officers will be in contact normally within 24 hours to try and assist that person get a loan. We think it's a great step forward for Papua New Guinea and for small to medium enterprises that has been forgotten a lot of the times.
Music lovers in Port Moresby were treated to the neo-soul tunes from Papua New Guinean-born singer Naire. The singer headlined a mini-concert at Port Moresby nightclub, the Cosmopolitan.
It
It was a momentous homecoming for 32-year-old Naira Joseph. Last night's intimate performance in front of a small but rambunctious crowd at the Cosmopolitan left no doubt that this young woman can mesmerize an audience with her vocal prowess. The singer performed a handful of her iconic hits such as Diggin' and Once from her second studio album, Blastomania. Naira's sound has been described as a combination of Mary J. Blige and Erykah Badu's voices, mixed with MIA's genre-bending sensibility. The singer was recently featured in the MTV show Point of View with Tanya Nugent, sharing her journey from small-town Rabaul in East New Britain to the big city lights of Sydney, Australia, where she is now based. Opening for Naira was Vocal Fusion Season 3's second runner-up as well as current Battle of the Season contestant Isaiah Manoa. Leanne Jarari, National, MTV News.
Throngs of people around the world sent a clear message on Earth Day. Scientists and their supporters on every continent organized on Saturday to counter what they say is a growing disregard for evidence-based knowledge. This year's march was sparked by U.S. President Donald Trump's plans to scale back Obama-era environmental regulations. CNN covered marches across the U.S.
Thousands and thousands of scientists and their supporters clogged the streets of Washington. You can see just the end of the March for Science here. It was raining, it was windy, and it was cold, but they stuck with it. They say this is the beginning of a new effort to emphasize science in their communities. It ended here at the Capitol building. What they were protesting about was the Trump administration itself. The message from the Trump administration, the cuts in funding that the Trump administration is indicating it will take on. And specifically, federal employees here who undertake science are concerned that their scientific work will be sifted essentially through a political lens. They said this is a nonpartisan march, but it certainly had a hard political edge. Miguel Marquez, CNN, Washington.
Thousands of people here marching and rallying in San Francisco on this Earth Day, here to stand up for science. Some here to talk about what science has done for the world and for humanity. Others here to send a very strong political message to the Trump administration in particular, concerned, for example, about the rollback of EPA regulations. And you hear the crowd go wild. Every now and then they'll pass some tree or somebody will be singing and everyone starts clapping and yelling. Also, you're seeing a lot of folks in lab coats. You're also seeing a lot of people with very clever signs, but there is a very serious message that science matters.
You're with Sunday's News. Don't go anywhere. We've got True Guy Sports coming up after these short messages.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. To netball, following the launch of the 2017 POM netball season yesterday, President Roy Molina said with the new drafting system put in place for the Premier Division, it is expected to create an elite level of competition for the association's top cream of players. He added even PNG netball scouts will have an available pool of top players to pick from.
Simple drafting system where we give points to players according to their representative qualifications, like if you're a PNG rep, national rep, if you've represented Port Moresby at the national championships, or if you're participating in the Premier Comp, they will have different types of points. In that point system, we'll try as much as possible. We're planning to have 6 teams in that Super Series, and we try and have with those numbers have an aggregate almost equal each other, so that the competition is in terms of strengthening the comp, having it more competitive, have that in place.
The PNG Open Lawn Bowl tournament ended on a high note yesterday in Port Moresby. Goroka came third in the women's division, while the first placing went to Metro Bowling Club. Laith Matu Bajo won the men's singles and is the 2017 champion. Godwin Eki with more.
PNG Open Lawn Bowl tournament ended yesterday with both men's and women's finals. Taking part in the finals for women's fours competition were Goroka, Lae and Port Moresby with its two clubs, Metro and Defence. In the women's division in fours competition, Goroka taking on Lae played for the third placing. May Osamai of Goroka led Team Goroka defeating Lae.
Mipla play mulgeta games na mipla actually mipla no play lo first na second place, but mipla play lo third na fourth na mipla amomas mipla win in third place.
The match between the two Metro teams saw the first place go to Team 1 led by Gay Watau, while Team 2 held their backs at second placing. In the men's singles, it was game on between Port Moresby and Lae. Representing Lae was Matu Bajo against Vela Vele. Bajo defeated Vele with 21 points to 13 and crowned the 2017 champion for men's singles.
Thinking I'm stopping this as we must win. Come to play lo win, but I'm come straight to some lo ting blow me so me mas lo me win him game. Lo mitlu play them so mitla brata hai. Chalo se game na mitla challenge league chalo se me win. But me mas lo mitla play one time.
Matu is one of the best players in the country, and it was a great experience, to play alongside, to challenge one of the best players in the country. He actually did well, in the first, second, and third rounds, and he picked up about 10 points ahead of me. I was on 0, and to chase after him, it really took me a while to.
Metro Bowling Club President Kevin Kautu thanked all participating provinces and all who helped staging the event. The winner of the 2017 Men's Single Championships 2017, Matu Bajo, will represent PNG at this year's World Championships in Sydney. This year will also be a busy year for the code to start preparing for upcoming international meets. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. We've got South's basketball and a wrap of round 8 in the NRL. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The National Souths Basketball League started their finals playoffs today at the Tarama Aquatic Centre. The matches kicked off with the elimination finals in Pool A and B.
In the men's elimination finals in Pool A and B, Mayawala played Jufru Souths. A very close and intense match saw both teams battle it out on the court. But Mayawala proved to be the better team, edging out Jufru 32-39. In the second men's elimination final, it was another nail-biter between Epari Souths and Reunion Souths. Reunion Souths led all throughout the game, but were followed closely by Epari. Epari tried their best to catch up and take the lead, but Reunion's defense was what got them through. Reunion will play Mayawala in the knockouts later tonight. Elijah Lovett, National EMTV Sports.
In NRL, round 8 of the Telstra Premiership has already seen 6 matches played since Friday. This afternoon's match between the Bulldogs and West Tigers, the Tigers beat the Dogs 18-12. The North Queensland Cowboys displayed strong plays last night that saw them defeating the Newcastle Knights 24-12, the highest margin in round 8 so far.
The Cowboys dominated early on with a try, setting them in the lead by 6 to Knights nil. It wasn't long before the Knights capitalized on a penalty that saw them off to a try that leveled the score at 6-all. Another long-range try followed right after True Knights' Brandon Elliott, putting them in the lead with 12 points by half-time. Despite a penalty goal from the Cowboys, they trailed with 10 points. The North Queensland guys took back momentum in the second half with unbreakable defence. The Cowboys kept them from scoring and secured 2 tries themselves, putting the lead to 12 points. At full-time, the score stood at 24-12 in favour of the Cowboys. And in other matches, Rabbitohs proved they were playing on equal level to their opponents, the Brisbane Broncos. It was a tit-for-tat on Friday night until the dying minutes of the match when Anthony Milford's shot at the goal gave the Bronx a 1-point lead to win the match 25-24.
That looked over two block. He had half an hour to set himself there.
2016 premiers, the Cronulla Sharks were stunned by the Titans, who left them at the wrong end of a 16-12 full-time score, while the Parramatta Eels gave the Penrith Panthers a similar treatment with an 18-12 win.
Through Moylan on the Cartwright, back towards the middle of the field.
And the Manly Sea Eagles went head-to-head with Raiders until a 39-metre penalty goal in Golden Point saw the Sea Eagles walking away with 20 points to Raiders 18. The 2 remaining matches will see the Storms take on Warriors, while Roosters will face the Almighty Dragons on Tuesday. Dinarose Raiko, National, EMTV Sports.
And that's a wrap for Trukai Sports. All your weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, cloudy with an evening shower or 2, then fine in Port Moresby, Kerma and Popondetta, cloudy with afternoon showers occurring in Daru, and cloudy periods with evening showers in Alotau. In the Momase region, cloudy with evening showers, then fine in Lae, partly cloudy with evening showers likely, then fine in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, thundery showers occurring, then cloudy tonight in Larngau, mostly fine tonight and tomorrow in Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka, and mostly fine tonight and tomorrow, although cloudy at times in Kimbe. And in the Highlands region, cloudy with chances of afternoon to evening showers, then morning fog developing in all centres. Forecast for small ships for tonight and tomorrow. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru, seas of 2 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Kiwai Island to Kerma, to Yule Island to Hood Point, to Samarai Island, and waters of eastern Milne Bay Islands, seas of 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel, to Finschhafen, waters of Medang to Bogia to Wewak, to Aitape to Vanimo, to northern PNG Indonesian border, and waters of New Ireland to East and West New Britain and Bougainville, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitia Strait, Dampier Strait including Siasi Islands to Long Island, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas of 1 to 1.3 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas. In the Coral Sea, seas rather rough to rough at southeast winds at 25 to 34 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas slight with northeast to easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas slight with southwest to westerly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with east to northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's been the news, sports and weather for Sunday, April 23rd, 2017. On behalf of the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.